Also, someone else has just walked into the CBC building. He's got pretty big muscles. He's got a gigantic belt.
Beautiful big
It
belt.
sparkles. And I hear he's even got some tights, fancy little outfit, you know. We're going to meet Newfoundland pro wrestler Dynamite Dylan Davis coming up. Looking forward to that.
And he's going to tell us all about a special show they've got coming up tonight at Mile 1. Looking at our weather today, we're still sitting at -1.
Batteries, and you don't have to plug it in. So they're going to be having some fun, unstructured play today. If you have a school announcement for the morning show, please email morningshow@cbc.ca.
Tonight, we are going to witness the most anticipated match in the history of professional wrestling for the heavyweight championship of the world. Are you ready? Wrestling fans, are you ready? Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
I wonder if Mile 1 is going to sound like that tonight because, yeah, they're going to have the ring out, and in fact, we're stepping into the ring here this morning, metaphorically speaking, of course. Heavyweight champ Dynamite Dylan Davis is with us in the studio. Also, Travis Canning, promoter for New Evolution Wrestling. They're here because New Evolution is holding a special show tonight during the St. John's Edge game at Mile 1. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning. Good morning.
Dylan, hold up that big belt that you got for us. There. Let us see.
That is a nice-looking
Nice,
belt.
Nice, eh?
Just describe it to the people in Radio Land.
So, it's gold. It's got the green lettering on it, and it is quite heavy. Beautiful.
It
Put it right in front of your face there, because we're on visual.
Yeah,
radio.
people got to see that.
Tell us a little more about it. How'd you win it?
So, I won this back in December against in a three-way dance match against Tony King and Scott Humphreys. It was a long year of me chasing down Tony King to get it, but finally I got back with mine, so happy.
You've been at this a while, haven't you,
I've
Dylan?
been at this now locally since roughly 2006.
Wow.
I had my first match then. My first real match was 2008. And it really got going, I think 2010 was really when it started to get busy.
How's the body holding up?
Yeah, there are days where it's sore, but for the most part, I'm pretty good. Still feeling kind of young, so I'm all right.
So, Travis, I want to bring you into the conversation here as well as the promoter. Tell us a little bit about New Evolution Wrestling. How does it work?
Well, essentially, it's similar to what you see, like, say, with World Wrestling Entertainment, WWE, like, sort of on a smaller scale. Something that we started, myself and Sheldon Bishop started in 2015, in December, and we started bringing in WWE guys, a couple of people from Maritimes, and just filled out our core roster with Newfoundland wrestlers here. And so since then, we've been getting packed shows at the CLB Armory over the past couple of years, and we've had a lot of momentum ever since. So.
And how many wrestlers, like, professional wrestlers, do we have here in this province?
There's at least maybe 10 or 12, I believe, and then there's people who are from here that live away, like Dynamite Dylan Davis is based out of Halifax, but he's from here, and Matt Wheeler is also based out of Halifax, but he's from here as well. So
Dylan, how does the Halifax scene compare to the scene here in St. John's?
Halifax, it's busier for sure. Like, here we have shows every month to 6 weeks. Up in Halifax and the Maritimes, for me, it's almost every weekend. It's the Maritimes, so I do Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, Quebec as well. I do some wrestling in the States too. I have New Hampshire now March 24th. So between here and Halifax, the opportunity to get out there is easier.
So tell us a little more about yourself. Did your parents name you Dynamite Dylan?
No, actually, I got that name when I started back in 2008. I used to be hip-hop Dylan Davis. I had no idea that I was given the name until they put it on the event page on Facebook.
So what do you mean? It's a surprise?
show and Taylor was there, and I was like, hip hop Dylan Davis.
How did you feel about it?
At first, honestly, I hated it because they wanted me to come out and dance around to rap music, which I like, but they wanted me to go over the top with it, and I was
Right,
like,
right.
all right, we'll see how it goes. And I think it ran for a year, and now I'm doing the Dynamite thing.
So from the promoter perspective, I mean, how does that work? Like, you decide on the character, or how do you shape what a wrestler's image is going to be?
It really depends. In Dynamite Dylan Davis' case, he already had a name established for himself before we started, so he had a little bit of momentum here. He was known publicly, so we kind of just went with what the common name was. But usually when someone's starting to learn and develop and you're training them, it's usually, if you're looking for a certain character or a certain thing, you kind of like sort of cater to their strengths and what they're able to do. So I guess someone along the way maybe thought that you liked hip-hop and maybe thought you'd fit in there. I don't know in that case. But so that's usually what happens. From talking to like the person, you try to find something that they latch onto and sort of bring that out in them in character form.
And isn't wrestling, doesn't it tend to get down to good guys and bad guys? Is it Dylan one the good guys?
It's always good versus evil. That's always weird.
Yeah, and that's always the typical formula, and it always works best, especially when kids are involved in things like that. They like to get behind the good guy, and
So
So which one are you, good or bad guy?
I'm a good guy.
You're the good guy.
Of course.
Do you like being the good guy?
I love it. I love being the hometown, hero. So, whenever I go anywhere, when they say where you're from, I say St. John's, Newfoundland. When I hear that on the when they say it, I get like excited, covering goosebumps. It's my hometown. You know what I mean? So I love it here.
Right on.
Yeah.
So New Evolution has bad guys?
they do have bad guys.
Who are the great villains?
Psycho Mitch is
Psycho
probably the name.
Psycho Mitch.
Psycho
Tony
Mitch.
King is the villain. We are not friends. Yeah. Honestly, yeah, he is the ultimate villain of Newfoundland
What
wrestling.
makes him so bad?
The jerk. He's a big jerk. This guy, he underhand, cheats, he lies. He's a jerk. Just a guy you don't want to be around.
Is there a skeet or no?
Tony Skeet?
I don't even know how to define that word, but it's more along the lines of a bad guy is usually someone who finds a crooked way to, underhandedly win a match or be deceitful in some manner. So
I think we can call him Tony the Skeet if that's the case. But he's not here to defend himself, so we won't roast him right now. But Travis, I just want to ask you one more question about yourself. As the guy who's sort of the promoter for New Evolution Wrestling, you must have been a huge fan growing up. Were you always watching on TV and stuff?
Yeah, it was one of those things where it almost kept me safe in a way because I didn't have a very good childhood. So whenever wrestling was on, it was like it was almost an escape for me, and it kept me out of trouble. And which is pretty cool now in a sense because I get to look around the audience and see a lot of kids there, and I can't help but wonder if like there's at least one kid in the audience that's feeling that same thing, So
Totally, like especially 80s, 90s, like WWF, WWE was where it was at, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. And I mean, the wrestling scene now across the world is actually booming again. You won't probably see the results of that for another year or two. But a lot of the independent wrestling promotions are becoming like a big name in themselves with all the global networking and everything out there and all the streaming services. It's like, it's going to be, people are going to be making money at this again a lot in the next few years.
So this is really cool. So how did you manage to bring wrestling into the basketball world and sort of lay out what's going to happen tonight?
Well, essentially what happens when the St. John's Edge came here, they did a really good job at sort of like developing themselves in the community very quick, and they were quick to realize that we were the same demographic they were, and so families, kids. If you look at our audience, they're sort of like the same type of demographic, and we just both thought it was peanut butter and jelly. They went together really well, so to speak, right?
So you're putting the ring out right in the middle of the basketball
It's set up
court?
right now. We set it up last night. It's not in the center of the ring because center of the stadium because obviously the floor is there and we don't take damage to the floor. But yeah, no, it's there. It's set up, and you guys are going to see a good show tonight.
Who are you going to take on, Dylan?
I laid out an open challenge. So really, it could be anybody here.
Okay. Anything could happen.
Anything could happen, and anything can happen at a New Evolution Wrestling event. I always say that. So right now it's an open challenge, so really it's open for whoever wants to go for the belt and go right ahead.
Oh, so somebody could take that belt from you
They
tonight.
want to try, they can try, but it's mine.
How
I'm
much-
keeping it.
The other thing too, how much of pro wrestling is real You're looking at me like that. Because sometimes like people say, "Oh, it's not real," right? You know, is it real?
Oh yeah,
It's real.
it's real.
Okay.
It feels real when you get that match.
Yeah, it's real. Definitely.
I love it.
I guess the best way to describe that is to call wrestling anything other than real would be like calling figure skating fake. And that's an Olympic sport because essentially what you're doing is the same thing as figure skating. You're almost like you have a dance partner. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah. Well said. Well said.
yeah.
You can't. None of those falls look fake. It does. None of it looks.
You don't feel
like
fake
it does.
either. Yeah. You feel it for sure. It's yeah.
Are you bruised up after a match? Like for real?
Yeah. I've left some matches, beaten and bruised a little more than others, but again, it's all part of the game.
Now, I know you were sizing me up when you said you're open to any challenges tonight, but I'm going to take a pass.
Okay.
Actually.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I think I will.
You wanna
I think
try?
I will. I'm gonna work out a couple more
Okay.
times. And might give you a call next week.
I'll give you a shot, man. Just call me. We'll make it happen.
Thanks. That's really reassuring.
Well, we're gonna be voting for you. Good over evil. We love it. Hope you can hold on to that belt coming up tonight.
For sure. No worries.
You guys rock. Thanks for coming in.
Take care.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
So that's Dynamite Dylan Davis and Travis Campbell.